and good afternoon, TGIF, and happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Real Pro Fridays. I'm your host, sales manager, New American Funding, and my name is Sean Wilson. We have an awesome show. And I say that every week. I know I think all of my guests are awesome. So please don't get tired of me saying that because that's what I believe. All of my guests on here on Real Pro Fridays, all of them are awesome in their own right and they have something to bring to the marketplace. And so if you haven't, if you're new to Real Pro Fridays, take a moment to browse our Facebook page, which is going to come up, or LinkedIn page or Twitter page. All that information is going to come up on the screen, and so you'll be able to enjoy a lot of the past guests as well. And so my guest today is no different. But before we get started, here's what I want you to do. I want you to see that QR code right there. Let me see if I get my right there. I want you to scan that QR code. I need you to do it right now. The reason I want you to do that right now, or you can go to if you're watching on Facebook, you can go to our Facebook page and scan that QR code because we have a home buyer readiness pack that is jam packed with lots of goodies for you, Mr. Homebuyer, and you, Mrs. Homebuyer. It's designed to get you ready for home ownership and then help you walk through the home ownership experience in a better and more enlightened and more prepared way. A couple of things that are in there. Number one, you're going to get a free appraisal is in there, a free home warranty by one of our past guests is in there, discounts on home inspection services are in there. We have a awesome Excel budgeting tool, family budgeting tool that's in there that you can manage all of your finances. It's a credit tool in there that helps you kind of identify the red flags and much, much more. So you want to definitely do that. And when you do that, I'm going to bring up my on my screen, my web page here. When you scan it, it's going to take you to this page. Here you go. You want to fill out this information on this page. Why? Because we want to know who you are, and we need to know where to send the home buyer readiness pack. It's in the electronic format with all the coupons and all the tools, and we're going to email it to you so that you can have a home buying experience that is absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. So you ask yourself, why are we doing this? Why, Sean, are you taking time out of your day to do this? Right? Here's our mission statement coming up on the screen. Is the reason we're doing that is that we interview industry pros to learn what has made them successful, number one, and then number two, gain their insight and wisdom in all aspects of the home buying and home selling process. Why? Because we want you, Mr. Homebuyer, and you, Miss Homebuyer, to have an amazing home buying experience. And so that's our goal. That's our reason why that we're doing that. And then once again, I'll bring that QR code up on the screen real quickly so that you can see that nice and big on your screen. So there it is. Scan me. Scan me. And to reach me on Instagram and IG and Facebook, there you go right there. So Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube from Dream to Reality Live. You type that in, I'll come up. Facebook, My Senior Mortgage Advisor. You type that in and I'll come up. It'll bring you to our page. Awesome. So without further ado, help me to welcome to the platform none other than the amazing Patrice Boykin. Yay! Patrice is in the place one more time. There we go. Awesome. So welcome, Patrice. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. It's Friday, even though that doesn't really mean anything as a realtor, because that's the beginning of the week right there. So
you're in the beginning of your week, right? Or
yes,
weekend.
yes.
Awesome.
Who knows what a weekend is? Not a realtor.
I know that is right. There's nothing wrong with that. You get a chance to touch base with home buyers and come alongside their home buying dream journeys and participate
Yes,
in that process.
definitely
That's
a journey.
fantastic. So thank you for taking time to join me out of your busy schedule. So who is Patrice? Who are you?
Who am I? We don't have
Yeah.
enough time for all of that, but I am a licensed real estate agent and real estate business owner here in the lovely state of Virginia, and loving every minute of it, helping home buyers and home sellers.
Amazing. That's amazing. How long have you been? Well, actually, what made you get into the industry? Why are
So
you in? industry from the beginning?
So a few years back, I had my performance review. I'm a licensed physical therapist here in the state of Virginia as well.
You're dual,
And
so you have
yes,
dual
dual
career.
career. Yes, dual career. And so when I had my performance review, just about 3 years ago, they told me, "We love you, you're great, la 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 la, but yeah, we can't pay you anymore because we actually overpay you." And within the company structure, there was really no room for growth except to be like stuck in an office and doing endless amount of meetings, and that's just the quickest way to kill me because I don't do tons of meetings very well, and just looking at a computer screen all and just looking at numbers, I was like, this is not going to work. I need to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. And so had explored different avenues of, potential other careers. And I'd always kind of dabbled with the whole idea of being a realtor and going into real estate. And when they told me that, that really kicked my butt into high gear. And I was just like, okay, we got to change because we can't cap at 37. That's just not going to happen. So studied for my real estate license and became a realtor, started my own business within the EXP brokerage, and haven't looked back since. So I am loving the real estate side of life. So
Loving every minute of it. That's
yes.
fantastic. That's fantastic. And so we were speaking of EXP. So we were talking about how you engage your home buyers and what you think is important. And so you put together a nice little list for us. So let's bring that up
Yes.
on the screen. And so right there is your top 10
Yes.
pieces of advice, your wisdom that you've gained, that you've understand that's important for home buyers. So walk us through a couple of these. Give us some details about make a wish of the top 10 things, what the top 5 things. So
Yes.
what is that all about?
So when I'm taking buyers out, to look for homes, and they're, seeing different things in the home, seeing different, like, ooh, that, and they kind of, get the stars in their eyes, and you need to have like your top 5. I know some people, and I'm a list person, so my list can get very extensive and have like 20 things on there, but you need to kind of have it like your top 5 like must haves, and then have your, the wiggle room. Maybe, okay, maybe the garage is a 1-car garage, but there's still space, for other parking, just different things like that. So you need to just kind of have the things that you won't budge on, and then the things that can be kind of negotiated, where, because you're not going to get every single thing that you want in your home. So
What? I can't
having
get
that,
everything.
say that again.
What? I can't get everything I want?
Yeah, I mean, that's life, and that happens with houses. So, I mean, you just got to be, prepared for that. And, sometimes having a come to Jesus with clients, like, okay, we need to just talk about, having some realistic expectations. So that way there, when you're going in to those homes and looking at them, you can be like, oh, okay. And I just learned a different way of approaching when we're going on the showings, to have a little survey that they fill out. So that way there, it can be a little bit more objective, because as you start seeing more and more homes, they start merging together, and you're like, wait a minute, didn't this one have, and didn't that one have? So they all just start blurring together. So I'm getting a little bit more streamlined when I'm doing the showing. So that way there, they can be like, oh, this is what I liked, this is what I didn't like, so that type of thing.
Awesome. Let me ask you. Oh, go ahead. You going to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna pull out another one, but go ahead.
So let me ask you this: in that
Mhm.
top thing, have you had any not weirdos, but weird top 5? It's like, what? Where did that come from? Any weird ones yet?
Nothing too weird, but just it's funny to see what different people pick out in houses. And one gentleman, he was just like looking at how all the light bulbs were different, and just how something else. I just remember the light bulbs. He just kept on looking at light bulb fixtures. I'm like, okay, there's a little bit more to look at, like maybe just like foundation. We might want that to be, in place. Light bulbs we can change, light fixtures, those are changeable. We need to look at the bigger picture. My very first home buyers, when I first became an agent, there was actually a crack in the foundation. And so we ended up having to get a structural engineer to come out and look at the property to see, how bad is this? Can this be repaired? And is this going to make us turn away from this particular home? And what ended up happening was that the seller, they did decide to fix the foundation because that was going to come up with every other person. So it was better for them, to get that addressed and taken care of. So that was not my very first sale. We had structural engineer and foundation issues that had to be, addressed, and they still actually ended up going through with the purchase of that home. So that had a happy ending, but it was definitely very scary. Like, oh my gosh, like it wasn't just turnkey, like, oh, let's just buy, some pillows and throws. And no, we have to fix the foundation and a structural wall. And like, who do you talk to about that? So it was very, very interesting to learn all of that on my first transaction.
Well, what a way to get indoctrinated into the business, right?
Oh yeah. Talking to different people in the county office, like they sounded like they're in the back hole somewhere in some county office, like no one ever knows when they come out. So it's like, okay. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So big clap it up for you for that. Absolutely. Going above and beyond the call. So excellent job. So you were going to pick another one on the list. I see something that stands out to me if you want to talk about that. But go ahead and pick another item off the list and talk to us about that.
Okay. So one of the things when it comes to home buying is when you're out there shopping and we're going out looking at different homes, once we put that contract in and our offer gets accepted or ratified, then one of the things that I highly recommend my clients doing is home inspection. So that way there you can see what's going on with your home. So just like I said, with that very first transaction, we had a home inspector come in and he saw that there was a crack, and he said with what a home inspector does, they can just say, this is going on, these different things need to be addressed. And they kind of rate it in level of severity. So some things, can be easily taken care of. Some things you may need to negotiate with the seller potentially to see if they'll fix it. And with how the market has been, and it had been very, very crazy, and people were waiving to do home inspections and just kind of taking the chance and buying the home so that they could win the offer. So I highly recommend getting a home inspection and not waiving it. But if I make sure I educate my client on, okay, if you decide to not do a home inspection and things happen, then you're going to be liable, to take care of those different issues that may come up and arise in the home. And that kind of goes into point number 6, to getting a home warranty, which you're offering for free. And that home warranty,
offering it for free. I'm just
sorry. So with the home warranty, recommending that my client gets that. If they get a home inspection, great. And if they don't, this is especially even more so important, because just different levels of home warranties will cover different things that may happen to your home. Maybe something goes on with the fridge. Maybe you get some kind of, roof issue. There's different policies, and you need to read them very carefully, because
Mhm.
sometimes certain things will be covered and some things won't. So maybe if you have a flood in your basement, if you didn't select that option to get, flood coverage, then you're on your own. So it's very important to make sure you're reading your home warranty and picking the right coverage. So if you're living in an area that may be on a hill and there may be, a lot of water in that area, you definitely want to make sure you get some kind of flood coverage and protection.
Because it may not be included.
Yeah.
Outstanding, outstanding. So talk to us about location, location, location. I hear that all the time. Why should a buyer be concerned? So they have some expectations and some things that they want to, location. But what would you tell them about location, and why is that important going forward?
So multifaceted. So depending on where you are in your season of life as a buyer. So if you're coming in with children and you want your kids to play outside and get away from, their electronics, if
Mm-hmm.
you're picking an area that may not have the best reputation for safety, that location is going to pay, a very big piece in where you pick. Potentially, for schools that your child is zoned to, but
Mm-hmm.
also maybe you have no children and you're single professional and you want to be near the action and near the city. So if you want to be close to public transportation, different things of that nature, so that way there you can just, not worry about driving your car or not taking an Uber, and you just want to hop on the train, get down to DC and have some fun and come back. That location, drives a big piece of it. And location obviously is also going to pay a whole lot more attention when it comes to the price of your house.
Mm-hmm.
So your buying power may be 400,000, and when you get closer towards DC, you'll be like, how much does my 400,000 get me? Like a one bedroom, with a
Right,
den and shared laundry, with the rest of the occupants in the building,
right.
versus if you go out, to the end of the world, take a left, and then you can get, a big old mansion, for 400K. So that location will really drive the price. And so this is where there's another, level of educating the client about, what your buying power is. And that's where that wish list comes in. If you want all these things, then we may need to consider, some different locations compared to where you were initially thinking, if you have to have all these things.
Outstanding, outstanding. So what drew you to join eXp Realty?
Um, I was drawn to it when I had gone to a event, and you actually had them on last week, Mike and Tara
Oh,
Houston. And
amazing.
so they were hosting an event. And I forget, I forget, it was kind of like a leadership, and something drew me in. And I was like, okay, because I was looking at different brokers just to kind of see, what they offered, and, doing my due diligence to see where I was going to hang my license. And so when I had gone to this event, I had actually, before I'd even started my real estate career, I had written out what my goals were for, what I wanted to make. I had written out what I wanted in my brokerage and what kind of environment I wanted. And I wanted it to be collaborative. I wanted people to help give me support. And there was a few other things that I had written down, but I have it all on index cards that I wrote down. And when I had gone to their event, they checked off like every single box. And I was like, oh, this is going to work for me. And with the way that EXP works, they're a cloud brokerage. So I don't have to go into a brick and mortar office. And as a home health physical therapist, my car is my office. So I am constantly on the road. And even when I did work in the hospital setting, we had offices space, but it was there just to kind of like put the laptop down for a little bit before I'm running out, to go see patients. So I don't do well in offices. So the whole
Get
cloud
out there,
brokerage,
people
yeah, the cloud brokerage model worked for me. And then especially, once COVID hit and everybody wasn't even going into offices with how EXP is set up, they didn't even, miss a beat because they were already set up for that kind of environment. So that for me in my season of life, that whole setup worked best for me. So
outstanding. And so there's Patrice Boykin information at the bottom. You want to give her a call. As you can see, very knowledgeable, caring about what your home buying experience is going to be like. Lots of information. There's her contact information there, 703-672-0323. And so talking about location, what are you seeing is market conditions in the area where you are in your area?
So we're hearing a lot about how, interest rates are going up, and that is very true. And they're not showing any signs of coming down at any point. And when our team had one of our meetings, they kind of gave a bigger picture of the market rates and the interest rates. And they were showing, just even like 20, 30 years ago, how high the market rates and the interest rates were. And they were like 13, 20. And I'm like, and we're complaining about like 7. And it kind of gave more perspective. It was just like, wow, I wasn't, buying houses then. I was just living with, my parents. So I had no clue, but it just kind of gave, just more perspective on, where we are. Yes, it sucks, but it sucked a whole lot more, back then with those rates. And so as we're seeing those rates going up and climbing, I'm just seeing that, houses are staying on the market a little bit longer. It just seems to be
now.
Market all depends on your area. So typically I was seeing, like 7 to 10 days when it was just that buyer's market. Everyone was just, the house went on the market day one and it was gone, as soon as you blinked. So now things are taking, a little bit longer. We're seeing some frequent price adjustments just because houses are staying on the market longer, and they're just seeing that buyers are being a little bit more hesitant with their purchases. So I also work with investors as well. And so just seeing how they're going about with bidding on their different investment properties, and just where lenders for investors are changing their rates for their investors. It's just seeing how it's all coming together. It's been very interesting.
Outstanding. So I see at the bottom here, we have New Beginnings Real Estate and Home Recovery. That's an awesome name. I know there's a story behind it. There's a vision behind it. Talk to us about that. What is New Beginnings Real Estate and Home Recovery?
So when I was kind of looking into real estate, there are so many different avenues within real estate, and it can be very overwhelming just to see how many options there are to do. And one of the options that kind of caught my eye and kind of intrigued me was working with the whole idea of when clients or homeowners have issues with tax liens. And so if there is, money that you owe to the county, for taxes, and it's not paid after a certain amount of time, the county can then take your home, and different investors and different other people can buy that property by just paying off that tax lien. And so if you're able to, sometimes just with some of the courses that I've taken, you can actually help to recover that person's home with coming up with a system, to help cover that tax lien. And so the PT person in me who likes to help people to recover and get back on their feet, I like that idea. And so down the line, just wanting to help, people, keep their homes. Because my family growing up, we actually were evicted from our home. And so being able to go back to your home, that that would be really big. And just
And
that part of my life changed trajectory on a lot of different things. So being able to help people would be really
avoid
big, really special.
that's
Yeah.
that's an awesome. Let me clap it up for you for that. That's fantastic. So, more resources like this is needed in our community, and so I commend you for creating a company whose mission is to help those who have had life events that may have
Yeah.
caused them to be in a situation where they could potentially lose their house. So, great
Yeah.
job there. Absolutely. And so, I probably know the answer to this question on the heels of what you just said, but what are the key things that you would say has made you successful in this business?
Being focused and intentional has definitely helped me to be successful. But
Mhm.
not only that, just having really good team and the support and collaboration. So, like I said, that was one of the things that drew me to EXP was that sense of teamwork, that sense of collaboration. So
Mhm.
when you join EXP, if you're a brand new agent, you have to become a member of the mentorship program. And so you have a mentor who walks you through your first 3 transactions. So you're not just going it alone
Mhm.
and just trying to figure out, oh my God, what do I have to fill out? Because all the paperwork and everything. So whoever is responsible for signing you up into EXP is called your sponsor. And so your sponsor and your mentor are not always necessarily the same person.
Mhm.
So I had a sponsor, and she used to live here in Virginia, but now she lives in Texas.
Mhm.
And she's my sponsor, but your mentor has to be someone who's local and in your area, so that way they can walk you through the different paperwork and just the different rules and legalities. So my sponsor, my mentor, call them all the time, and just trying to get help. I remember going to a showing, and they were walking around, and then they started asking these questions, and I'm like, I'm gonna get back to you on that. So just give me a second. And so I just ran out the house, and I called my vendor. I was like, they're asking about, I forget what it was, but I was like, I have no idea how to answer this question. Can you tell me what to say? So having that mentorship, that support, that collaboration, where they're not just trying to make you just kind of figure it out on your own, or just say,
Yeah.
oh, go watch a YouTube video and Google it, that has been very tremendous in helping me, to be successful. So I graduated out of the mentorship program in 8 months. My goal was 6.
Right.
But 8 wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad. You're out, and I see that you use that to kind of develop your style. It seems like in how you engage your buyers. And so, why is in that regard, why is home buyer education important? Why do you think it's
Um,
important? And does that drive what you do and how you engage them?
yeah, definitely. When you know more, you should do better.
Right,
Not
right, right.
always so, I mean, we all know we should, exercise and drink, when was the last time you had a bacon cheeseburger? Okay. So there is
Right. I want
there
some.
is that piece, but when you're educating your buyers and you're educating your sellers and just giving them what their different options are, then they can make sure that they're making the best decision for them. Because I don't want to, be the bully realtor and just say, you need to do this, you need to do this. If you actually know why you're doing it, then you'll be more likely to make the decision I was trying to tell you to make to begin
Right.
with. But then you just like, oh, well, that was my idea, So it's just kind of a, um, positive incentive, just like, oh, well, here are your options, so you can do this or do that. So yeah, using
That's
that
good.
piece.
Outstanding, outstanding. And so, you have, put together a top 10 for us for sellers as well. So it's obvious that you believe in education,
Yeah.
and you extend that onto the selling side. And so walk us through some of this declutter. Why is that important? What's curb appeal all about? Professional cleaning. Just walk us through some of those and the
Yeah.
why.
So, one of the things that I like to do when I come into a listing appointment, I actually like to bring my one of my staging team members, and so she's looking at it from different eyes than I am as a realtor. So I'm, looking at it and she's thinking, okay, where can we put things? So that way we want to make sure we're putting your home on the market in the best light possible.
Mhm.
So what I have done several times in the past is just I offer a free staging assessment when I come in. So that way this particular stager that I've worked with a few times, when she comes in, she'll give an assessment, of the home, and she'll give you a printed report that
Mhm.
the sellers can keep. And if they decide that they want to just, do it themselves, then they can. But if they want to actually get it, professionally staged, then they can get the professional stager to come in. We
Mhm.
have electricians, landscapers who we network with, so that way we can just make sure your home looks great, because more and more people are just looking at the homes online, and if your home isn't
Mhm.
picturing well, then
Mhm.
more than likely people will just swipe left and go on to the next listing that looks, nice and pretty and shiny. So again,
Right.
that's where decluttering comes in. As much as, you may love that red picture on the wall that just, was when you went back to college and someone made this for you, and all your sentimentality that you have connected, your potential buyers are not going to see that. You're going to need to go put that in a basket in the closet somewhere and just let people see the house for what it is and imagine themselves, being there in a home. One house I went to, they had this awful bathroom. Somebody loved it, but it had some kind of like toilet lid that was clear, and it looked like fishes were like swimming in it. And it was just very limited in the style selection that it didn't have a mass appeal to it. And so that can really turn off potential buyers when they're walking through the home, because it's a whole lot harder for people to imagine themselves in a home when they're
Mhm.
seeing all your stuff around. So you're trying to make it neutral and just, broaden who it'll appeal to for potential buyers who are walking through these homes, because everybody's watching HGTV and they want to see all
Right.
these, shiny, just modern, updated type things. And then when they come in your house and it looks like you went into a time capsule and you're back in the 70s, you're like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. So then they just, go on.
In the company.
Another
Got
big thing is smells. So trying to keep houses smelling neutral, because I've gone into different homes where we've come in and we've just smelled like animals or something. And I've
Mm.
had buyers who are like, yep, we're leaving. And they don't even want to go any
Go
further into
out.
the home. They're
Crap.
like,
Gotta get out of here.
yeah. So I've seen that happen. So
Let me ask
something,
you this. Let me ask you this real quick. So I see something on here that I haven't seen in my previous episodes, and I wanted to bring this out. Two things actually. No one's talked about the seller paying both commissions. Talk about that, and then I think this is a big one, especially with this company coming out and competing directly with you, real estate agent professionals. Talk about why that's important in trusting your value and how you value the property versus companies like you've mentioned there. And then why is it important for them to understand upfront about the commission?
when you're setting your budget and expectations, a lot of times, especially if this is your first time selling a home, a
Mhm.
lot of listings, when you're talking to that client, they don't realize that they're paying the commission for myself as the agent and then who else is buying the home. So the agent commission for the buyers. So that when I've told them that before, they're like, oh, we do. And so not realizing that, want to make sure that they are aware so that when we get to that closing table, they're not surprised that, like, oh, I'm paying them too. So
Mhm.
just knowing where your money is, because I like to know where my money is going, who's getting it. So if I'm paying for someone to do all this, you better be doing a darn good job.
Ab-
So making
Absolutely.
sure that is known up front so that way there it's not a surprise at the end, like, oh, nobody ever told me
Exactly.
that. So just making sure that they know that. And then when it comes to coming up with the price
Mhm.
for their home, they're, looking on these different websites that say, oh, your house is worth this, your house is worth that, and that's them not coming into your actual house and just seeing, oh, there is some damage over here, things that need to be, addressed and fixed. And so when we are as agents doing what's called a CMA or a comparative market analysis, we are
Mhm.
looking at your home, we're looking at different metrics of if we can do an apples to apples, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and we're looking at what's been going on in the market in your area, typically we try to do like a mile, circumference, from that home. And depending on how densely populated where your home is located, then we can generate to see, okay, what have houses that were, made in the same year of your house potentially, because if your house was built in the 70s versus that new one up the street that was built in 2005, we're talking different types of homes. And so that can potentially change what your pricing is, how much maintenance you've actually done to keep your home up. Have you had your roof changed out? Have you had, HVAC repairs? How are
Mhm.
your windows? So different things like that will
Oh,
affect your pricing. And so Zillow is not going to capture all those on every single home. So that's where you need to trust your agent and just helping, to come to having a discussion. It's not just me telling you, oh, this is how much your house is worth, but let's talk about, what do you think your house is worth and what would you like to sell it for, and then let's just see what the
mo-
actual numbers say so that way there we can come to a, a decision together
Exactly.
and come
Mhm.
up with that price, because we also want to make it a competitive price so that way there we're not on the market forever
Mhm.
and ever. So we
Mhm.
also want to make it competitive where people are wanting to put in multiple offers on your home and you're not being on the market for a long time and just desperate just for one because you want to just stay at a certain price. So yeah.
Outstanding. That's fantastic advice. And so it sounds like it's better to trust you as a real estate professional because you're able to dial in more
Right.
accurately the value of the property based on historical events,
Yes,
sales events that's happened in the area with like properties. So uh,
exactly.
you, Mr. Homebuyer, you, Mrs. Homebuyer, you're out there, you're listening to this. While yes, but if before you engage Patrice and you want to kind of look at what's going on in your market, you look at Zillow or some of the other value websites. But once you engage Patrice, you want to leverage her expertise and the tools that she has access to so that she can help you determine the most accurate price to set for your home so that you can have you can offer value and then you also get the maximum. You can maximize your profit as well. So awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that. And again, you want to reach out to Patrice at 703-672-0323. And so as we get ready to wrap up here, talk to us about what are you doing in the community, or have you done in the community to kind of serve and give back? Anything come to mind?
So my team that I'm on 2 different networking teams within EXP. So not a traditional team like you may see, but we have done different events like a food drive, which I got to actually help coordinate that. And I'm looking forward to doing more of those in the future, because EXP is very big on doing things in your community. So I love helping and giving back and doing things like that.
Outstanding. So keep me posted as things come
Oh,
up. I'd love to join you out there in the market and help, the initiative. So keep me posted
awesome.
about that. And so this really, when we started talking about this, it kind of blew me away, because the vision that you have to serve and give back is amazing. And so you have something that's called the space program. What is
Yes.
the space program, and who does it serve?
Okay. So for me, since I went to school for 6 years to be a physical therapist, um, I had the choice that I made to get pregnant very young, and ended up going through my last 5 years of physical therapy school as a single parent. And
Mhm.
to get that master's degree is very challenging, just in any regard, but even more so as a single parent. And so, with the different, just like we were talking about, what helps you to be successful,
Right.
being focused and intentional,
Mhm.
definitely, but also having support and people there to help me. So with going through PT school, I had the brains, to make the grades, but I needed a roof over my head because I couldn't live on campus
Right,
anymore,
right,
and now I need to pay for transportation and how I'm going to get back and forth to school, and
right.
now there's a child and I need help to pay for daycare, so all these different things that I needed, to have in place, so that way there I could actually focus on, okay, why is the neural ganglion going here? And I need to be thinking, oh my God, how am I going to just pay for rent this week? So
Right, right, right.
the SPACE program stands for, single parents achieving college education. And so wanting to have those supports in place for single parents who are, trying to get themselves better and get themselves ahead, but with whatever their circumstances are, they need to have a roof over their head for them and their kids, daycare, getting them to school, and then getting yourself to school. So wanting to be a support in the community for people who are actually trying to make themselves, and better themselves for them, not only for themselves, but also, for their kids. And so
Mhm.
being a positive example to your children, hey, even though this has happened, we can still, because I can't tell you how going into the WIC office and going to go get my paper tickets, for the week or for the month, my coupons. So there I could, buy milk, buy, different things that I needed for my kids. And that
Wow.
just me even more determined when I would pass those out at the grocery store, and just like going through and trying to find which coupon I need, for the Kix cereal that week.
Wow.
And just like, well, I'm getting my education, because this is not going to be the end of my story at all. And so wanting to help people to be able to do that. So that's the
Amazing.
kind of the end goal for real estate, and just building up, toward one, meeting different investors, so that way they're that dream a reality.
Outstanding. Outstanding. That is fantastic. So we got new beginnings. So we're helping
Hmm.
uh, homeowners who've had life experience or life events come up that potentially threaten their housing. And
Right.
so New Beginnings is positioned, in addition to helping all home buyers and all homeowners, but there's a part of what you do that specializes in this segment of the home owning population, and you're trying to help them keep their house, right? And
Yes.
so they can
Hmm.
make a decision when they want to sell it, as opposed to it being made for them.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then on the other side, you're helping single parents, single moms continue the education piece of providing this program. I think this is absolutely awesome. I need to clap it up for you even more. And so, if you're watching and you didn't catch that, rewind and watch it again, because there are many real estate professionals out here who are not just in it for the money. They're in it to help you better your family and better your future. And we have one here today on the show in the person of Patrice Boykin. So absolutely, that is phenomenal. Let me a couple more questions. I'll let you go. So in this space program that you have,
Mhm.
is there a real estate component? Is there housing going along with that, or how is that
So
executed?
I would like to provide housing for the participants so that way they like I said, you don't have to worry about that. So having that roof over your head and knowing that it's paid for, that is
Mhm.
that is a tremendous burden, you know,
Wow.
lifted.
Wow.
And if you don't have to worry about, okay, I need to work all these hours so that way I can pay the rent or pay the mortgage. If you have that taken care of, that's a
Mhm.
big relief, and you can really focus on your studies. So that way there you can get that degree and not have to put it aside again because, oh, I
Mhm.
got to put all these hours in just to, pay for the basics. But I could have a
Yeah.
better job if I went to school, so it's just that constant
Wow.
juggle. So yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So good job there. If you're a real estate investor and you're out there listening to this, and I want to encourage you to give Patrice a call. She has a massive vision that she's looking to help single moms who are in college
And
to be
dads.
dads, moms and dads.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you for clarifying that. And and she is looking for like-minded professionals to join forces with her in some capacity, right? Right?
Oh yeah.
To help with that process. So give her a call,
Definitely.
have that conversation, and how can you participate and you can help bring this about and add to what the good that you're already doing in the marketplace. And so as we close here, give us a really good fun fact about you that we don't know, something juicy that you don't mind sharing with the audience.
So I have a love for dancing and a love for fitness. So at one point in time, I actually was a Zumba instructor.
Oh,
And I love, if I can dance the pounds away, that's so much
better,
more
right?
than doing freaking mountain climbers or burpees. I mean, the treadmill, God help us all, I'm on it for like 10 seconds. I'm like, that wasn't an hour yet, and it's only 10 seconds. So, if I, just do my thing, shake it around on the dance floor or in my Zumba studio, I can burn so many more calories a whole lot more effectively. So I love being a Zumba instructor. Not doing that right now, too much on my plate, but
I
yeah,
got
I
you.
love doing
So you're gonna bring your Zumba exercise home and just that'll be your exercise routine.
it. Exactly. Exactly.
Outstanding. So clap it up again for Patrice Boykin, real estate professional with EXP Realty, New Beginnings Real Estate, and what is it? New Beginnings
Home
Real Estate
recovery.
Home Recovery. I'm going to get that in memory. Home Recovery LLC. You want to give her a call and engage her services for your home buying and home selling goals. Awesome. So, any closing thoughts as we shut down this episode today?
No, not at all. just thank you for having me. Thank everyone who dialed in and left their comments. So I appreciate that. So gives me a vote of confidence because being on camera is definitely a challenge that I'm overcoming. So yeah.
You did a great job today. So thank you so much again for being on the show, and you have a fantastic rest of your day. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Nice. That was awesome, guys. Wow. She is doing a lot in the community. Give her a call. Call her today, and get her expertise and her guidance in the areas of home buying and home selling. You will not be disappointed from what I heard today. So fantastic for her. And just before we go, I have a special announcement. It's on LinkedIn already, and I shared it on my Facebook page here. I always say excellence is a lifestyle. It's not something you can just do today. Yeah, you may have a good day today, but what about tomorrow when something comes up? Can you still deliver excellence to your family, to your clients, to your partners in business, and things like that? And so, um, New American Funding was recognized for the service that we offer our clients. We're a master servicer. We service our loans that we originate. And so we were recognized by JD Power as being the number one in customer satisfactions between mortgage services who are eligible to be surveyed in this program. And so one of our competitors was in there for 9 years, and us coming in and being able to develop our platform so that we can deliver best in class service to our customers who trusted us to originate their mortgage, and we retain that relationship by servicing that mortgage on the back end. And so I want to clap it up for all of New American Funding, or NAF Nation as we call it. Great job for everyone all of my colleagues on both on the origination side, the ops side, and on the service side. Great job for what you've done to be able to get this award. So clap it up for you. Amazing, amazing job, guys. And so I want to say, you guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy with your family. Go make some memories. I'm going to make some memories with my family. Matter of fact, Monday is my youngest daughter's birthday, and she is going to the beach, and she won't let me go. She's just going with her mom and her older sister, and so we're going to enjoy them before they go, and they're going to have a fantastic time. So make some memories with your family and enjoy. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye bye.